Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
That was me, if you didn't know, yelling "One Fall" in multiple voices.
Well, you sounded good, pal.
I did. I got the harmonics really good there.
I'm real proud of you.
I heard absolutely
you're
nothing for
pro.
whatever reason. I was just basically paused out the whole time. That's great. I missed it. Now I'm gonna have to wait. Wait for the download.
Internet. Dial up internet down in the hall.
I got to experience.
Good stuff.
I got to experience Derek's dial-up internet firsthand yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
maybe
fancy.
you guys weren't all trying to. Maybe if y'all weren't trying to stream porn in 4K, it would have been a lot better.
I did, however, get over with Derek's wife last night. Put Derek in a real shit spot.
Oh
Don't
man,
do that.
Yeah. It was fun.
Don't do
Fun
that.
times. I'm over here doing the dishes and just getting shit on the whole time.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Derek,
He did make good food though. He made good food. You know, next time I'm just inviting only Tom so that he'll talk nice things about me.
Walt's a good cook though. That's true.
Yeah, it worked
true
out.
Story. That's I don't know. Walt could come cook food at my house. That would be good.
He knows his way on the air fryer.
Man knows what he's doing.
I sure do.
He kitchen manages a hell of a restaurant. Put it that way. So, boys, I heard you guys maybe wasted $50 yesterday. Little bit of burn that cash. Maybe a little bit of exploding barbed wire that cash.
Yeah.
It was not worth the $50. I'm glad I DVR'd it though, so I can enjoy it for years to come.
Yeah, well,
my hopper shits out.
And here's the thing. So I was kind of telling the story a little bit beforehand. So Derek, we went over to Derek's house and I started cooking, and Derek was in the room setting up the DVR and buying the pay-per-view and getting everything situated right. And then we sat down and we were watching the buy-in, and we were watching that god-awful train wreck that they put in front of us.
The women's match? The women's tag match?
The women's tag
match.
That was, I mean, I don't know. As far as women's match, I just have the bar set really low, but
I mean, the section where it was just Britt Baker, Dr. Britt and Thunder Rosa going at it, that was good.
Yeah,
but
I like that.
Derek and I had a pretty good little conversation about that, beforehand. And I said, if I was on the fence about buying this pay-per-view and this was the deciding factor for me to buy this pay-per-view, I would not have clicked buy.
No. Tom, did you click buy?
No. God, no.
It failed entirely.
Wait, what did I say? Hold on, because you guys asked me. I got to look this up.
Oh, it was real funny, pal.
That was a Kenny Omega pet project is what that was. We were watching there.
Well, I mean, Thunder Rosa's good, and so is Britt
Baker.
But
who's the Maui, whatever her name is? That
Maki Ito.
Yeah, that's the shit deity or whatever.
I guess implying that she's gonna be part of Dark Order now and whatnot. If you guys saw that,
she's all elite, pal.
Look, anybody can be part of the Dark Order. You just have to make sure you miss your Hurricane Rana spots and run into the pole in a non-convincing way.
I'm not gonna lie though, Tom. When Evil Uno did that, it popped me. I laughed.
I mean, I've watched the clip many times. It was really funny.
I mean, it was definitely a good belly laugh, because he should not have gone that way. I don't know why he went that way instead of that way, but I mean, it is what it is.
He didn't want to fall. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna Scooby-Doo run right into this pole, and it's gonna be, and nobody's gonna notice except everybody noticed. I said I wouldn't pay $50 for AEW if they put a gun to my head. I'm also not interested in watching Mox and Omega rip each other from asshole to appetite. That's what I said.
That's exactly. It popped us pretty good in the.
Yep, that was funny.
Yeah, we watched it in Derek's.
Unfortunately, we did, and you made the right decision, sir.
Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, I've been under extreme stress and anxiety over my last 3 conversion or plans that I have to test, because one of them I made a mistake. and I was called on it by one of our biggest partners, and that's never fun. The other one failed so miserably that I'm not sure how to fix it. Like just light this on fire. It's terrible. And the third one, I passed off to somebody else. Like, I have two terrible ones. I just can't anymore. I can't. Like, this is also going to be bad. And they sent it in on Friday. I'm like, no. So, so my week was terrible. And I was not about to punctuate that by wasting $50 on a pay-per-view that, going into it and reading the card leading up to it, I knew was going to be kind of a shit show. And sounds like I wasn't wrong. Honestly, it sounds like I wouldn't have been as harsh on it as a lot of other people were. But I digress. Let's get into the show.
Yeah, let's get into the show.
Hear about it. Let's do it.
So, obviously we kind of let off here. We were talking about the buy-in, and they put in front of us, Dr. Britt and Thunder Rosa. Obviously, they're two premier women's stars. And then they sprinkled in a little Maki Ito, who has been making a lot of noise on the old Twitter machine. And then who did Thunder Rosa tag with? I don't even remember, Derek.
Riho.
It's terrible. Yeah,
it was Riho.
That's why I forgot, because
it was definitely Riho.
But the one thing that Derek and I talked about, you can actually kind of see that, like, Riho's, I don't know, aged a little bit, I guess. Derek said she looks 14 in Japanese years as opposed to 12 in Japanese years these days.
Well, it's been like a year. We haven't seen her since like March of last year, right?
Yeah, she's bulked up a little bit, for 90 pounds or whatever she is.
Well, she's at least 93.
But you can definitely tell that, she's gained a couple.
She put 3 pounds on. She looked less like a child.
She must have been over there actually working, so that's good,
I mean, or eating chicken wings.
Possibly.
That's how I bulk up.
Maybe she bought an air fryer.
Air fryer's the way. Although I still like them.
She's been to America and she's like, "Oh, you guys, check this out."
They got these things. They take these chicken wings and they deep fry them, and they throw this buffalo sauce on them, and they're delicious.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, we had some good wings last night. I made some good wings for me and Mr. Derek there.
I have wings in my freezer. Wings are good. I love wings.
Yeah. So I mean, the food was good.
Can't argue that.
It was good. Company was good.
Company was good.
$50 too, at least.
Yeah. I mean, let's not forget all the extra money that we spent. On beer and food and party favors and all that good stuff.
Did you guys have we had
definitely had party favors.
Those kind of party favors?
Yeah.
Let's get on with the show.
Yeah. So how about the fact with the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and MJF? Yeah, that was a decent match. I mean, the work was good, but this whole Jericho and MJF thing, I'm not buying it. I'm not into it. I don't like it. It wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't those things. However, I do want to say the best AEW segment that I've seen in a long time was last week when they took Papa Buck and they beat him up and threw him bloody into the Young Bucks on the back of the trailer. I liked that. And that was, to me, that was one of the things where I was like, oh man, had they done this a little bit more and had this been a little bit more drawn out rather than this 30-second clip of oh, these guys are going to have a match on Sunday. It really kind of that type of idea would have drawn me out. And I do like the dynamic of MJF and Chris Jericho together, because I think they both, obviously Jericho speaks really well, obviously MJF speaks really well, and I thought that segment really pulled them together as sort of this tandem of assholes. And so that was good, but there should have been more of that. They
didn't do a really good job building the story.
That was the shining point of all of it, and the rest of it was inner circle, inner turmoil. And I don't know. I'm not real. Truth be told, I don't know why MJF's not challenging, isn't the champion right now. He's a better heel than I don't know. MJF should just be the champ. This is all this outlaw mud show bullshit needs to go. Is for the bird.
Come on. The outlaw show bullshit.
This is outlaw mud show bullshit.
All right, so honestly, I think it's just the booking freaking sucks because I'll tell you what, I've been watching this the entire time, and MJF by himself being MJF, and Chris Jericho over here in the inner circle whenever they were by themselves. It was fantastic. That was great. This is what I want to watch. Then you tease that they're going to come together. You tease that they're going to come together for all these weeks, and that was fine. But it should have never ever happened. Why are these two monster heels together? This hasn't made sense the entire time. And then, last night we got a match with them, which I've just never been impressed with their matches, honestly, here lately. I think their matches are phoned in. And honestly, I feel like the Young Bucks section of it just turned into a freaking spot fest. And that's all. And I know that's kind of their thing, but I don't think those are the guys that you really can do it with. Are we really going to go out and say Chris Jericho's old ass is going to go out and do a spot fest?
Wait.
What?
Aren't you the guy that for like the last 21 weeks has been defending the AEW spot fest, and now you're going to come in here?
I like the spot fest, but I don't want to see it with Jericho and MJF. That's not what they do.
Has been that many?
Very lopsided, one-sided, no.
Where's time gone?
I didn't feel like they were participants, on that level.
And
no, sir.
The one thing
I like them much better separate. They should never be put together.
No, I agree.
even made the comment last night. Whenever we got one of these, it's just half-assed.
Yeah, Jericho just like phoned it in. Like MJF, like when they hit the Young Bucks pose, MJF was like, "Yeah," and then Jericho was like, "I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting paid."
Yeah, it's a waste. I can't wait till MJF turns on him and goes on to be a fantastic singles AEW champion.
As he should be. So the next match,
I'd watch that, but I'd
watch that over Drew McIntyre at this point.
Ooh,
what do you think, Tom?
Them's fighting words, buddy.
Ooh. Put him up.
What's a Claymore feel like? I don't know.
So the next match
we had any worse than the exploding barbed wire match.
Hey, we'll get there, pal.
That was
definitely better.
Pretty rough looking.
Definitely better than a half-ass lion salt. That's for sure.
Listen, you guys are gonna make me nip this fireball again.
Look, there's no nutrition.
Well, we've got to do something,
Fireball has no nutrition. It's no nutritional value.
No.
See?
None.
He had to hit.
Oh, he paused himself. Look at him, just dying over there.
It went up my nose.
Wow.
Oh.
Don't edit this out. Don't edit this out.
That's painful.
No. That's staying. That's gotta stay.
I won't. It'll stay.
That's great.
Oh, it's perfect.
Oh god, that hurt. Okay.
All right. So from now on, you got to send us your notes so we can talk in your absence. If
you accidentally
your voice for a minute,
accidentally inhale Fireball.
Yeah,
that gets the juices flowing, huh? All right. So after that, we went on to obviously Young Bucks win. They should have won. If the MJF and Jericho would have won, I would have burned Derek's house down. So moving on, we had the casino tag.
That was actually threatened earlier.
Yes. It was threatened earlier in the day.
It was.
The casino tag team royale. For me, obviously with the Death Triangle, Pac and Rey Fenix winning. For me, this was the match of the night. I enjoyed it.
Wrestlers, so that should have been the match of the night.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good. I thought, like, at first, Derek and I were talking about it, and we kind of thought it was going to be a little bit of a train wreck, but they did a pretty good job with it, aside from Evil Uno and his Hurricane gone wrong.
Look, at this point, okay, I've watched the clip a couple times. He Scooby-Doo ran that into the pole. He was like,
yeah, he did.
So, from my perspective, look, I feel like Evil Uno as a character is like a cartoon character. So I'm going to give him a pass on that. It wasn't a botch. That's actually what the Evil Uno character would have done. That was kayfabe. Evil Uno, cartoon, Scooby-Doo run into the post after a Hurricane run-up. So
when the official Blu-ray comes out later on, they're actually going to add that sound effect.
And the little the drawn like smoke, like he's like coming off
Yeah,
the back
yeah.
of the street. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, it'll be
The
real good.
enhanced edition.
And then
Like George
obviously,
Lucas directed it. He just changes everything as he goes.
and obviously you had the usual suspects in this match. You had the the natural nightmares who hit himself and then turned heel on Dustin in the middle of the match, which was interesting. I'll be, not so interested to see how that goes moving forward. That's
Good
just
to see Dustin though.
Yeah, Dustin looked good. And then Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels coming out. As soon as they lose a match, they are no longer going to be tag teams. And they're on an undefeated streak right now. They look good in the little battle royal. Came out and had some good spots. Looked real good. Obviously you get Jurassic Express in there. Luchasaurus looked like an animal. He looked like a man amongst little boys in there for a hot minute.
I mean, he's a solid 6'3", and everybody else
Yeah.
is like
and then
5'8".
Who's the cat, Derek? Who's the cat that was teaming with Pretty Peter Avalon? That's a big boy. What was his name? It was some kind of
boy. That's a
Yeah,
thick
honestly,
boy.
that was the first time I think I've seen him because I'm assuming they're normally on Dark. Pretty Peter's not much of a, so I can't say for certain.
He was a big boy, and I mean it'll be interesting to see what goes on from there. Obviously, like I said, Death Triangle won the match. Not really much to talk about. It's a battle royal style. It was a cool little gimmick, the tag team thing. I liked it. I enjoyed it, and for me, like I said, it was match of the night. So let's move it on. We had the AEW.
Most people are saying that should have been on the buy-in because it was like a battle royal is clearly
that would have been better as far as like
it would have made me click buy if it would have been what it was
much
on
better
the
marketing
buy-in
strategy.
Yeah, I would have bought it.
Mm-hmm. So real quick, just to cap that off before we move on. Not to take one of the lines you actually said to me last night though, Walt, is it doesn't really make sense that a legitimate tag team, they broke up to put Pac to then win the tag team opportunity. It's strange.
Yeah. I did make that comment last night. You put the Death Triangle together and you get Pac and the Lucha Bros, and then you break up the Lucha Bros and put Pac and Ray Phoenix in this battle royal. And I mean, they should have won. Pac is white hot,
and they're the Death Triangle. So I mean, they didn't really even break up. They just added Pac as another.
And then they just kind of mixed it up. Freebird rule, weird. I guess. But like I don't know. I didn't really care for that. I think that the Lucha Bros together are the Lucha Bros, and I know Tom's getting ready to jump and shit all over this. Go ahead, pal.
I don't like Pentagon. I prefer Ray Phoenix and Pac. And if Ray Phoenix and Pac are a team and Pentagon does other zero miedo crap somewhere else, I'm good with that.
He definitely showed out in the ladder match. I enjoyed his performance in the ladder match, but we'll get into that in a minute. I don't know. It seems like really strange to me, and I don't know if that's that's Pentagon trying to get his singles push and do his thing, because I mean he was a big single star in AAA and and some of those other promotions. So,
Impact too.
So I mean maybe
he was the Impact World Champ for a long time.
And he was a AAA World Champ for a while, and I know he was Lucha Underground World Champion for a while. So I mean he's got a pretty impressive resume as a single star. So maybe that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to put him over as a singles guy right now.
He's not as far as his in-ring work is concerned, like he's not as flippy as like he can do that stuff, but I feel like his singles work is way less flippy. It's way more work rate.
Sure is.
And I feel like I prefer him in singles matches than I do like Lucha Brothers Spot Fest stuff, because he's not a young man anymore either. Like Ray Phoenix is obviously like just some sort of a superhuman, like Ricochet level, like superhuman, but like Pentagon's not that. No. And I feel like Ray Phoenix with Pac makes more sense because Pac is also superhuman as far as like flight is concerned. Like somehow those men can actually fly.
Yes.
And Pentagon,
forgot him.
Pentagon can fall, and I think that's not necessarily what he wants to happen anymore. Plus, he gets blown up real fast when that stuff happens.
I caught your deep cut, pal.
Thanks, bud.
Much appreciated. But yeah, I agree with you. I do think though, as far as two high flyers are concerned, and the thing that I like about Pac is, he's got that high flying ability, but he's not afraid to stand in there and trade and throw down. Like he's a complete package, and he needs to be the AEW World Champion at some point.
He looks like a monster too.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Whenever he was in 205 Live
Well,
and like was the 205 live champ, I was like, that man 205 pounds? That man's not 205 pounds. He's built like a tank.
And then they
Tank,
jobbed
he's
him
nothing
out
but
to
muscle.
Enzo.
But
well, it's because he quit. Yeah, they did. That pissed him off.
Yeah, so then he quit.
if they are going to really push this as him going to go on to be a singles type star, then they at least need to go all the way with it, though, and give him his own intro music video package. I noticed last night it was still the Lucha Brothers song and the
I mean, it's always going to be because I mean,
Ray Phoenix Penta
if
stuff.
you actually listen to the song, all it talks about is, zero miedo or whatever the fuck that shit is. But that's all that they talk about in that
It
song.
means no fear.
Dude, it's no fear.
I know
get
what it means, but
Come
Stop
on now, don't
having
disrespect
I
that.
don't sprek in the Espanol.
My wife would be disappointed in you, Walter.
So, moving on, AEW Women's Championship, Dumpster Fire Shida versus Ryu Mizunami. This was a Kenny Omega wet dream waiting to happen right here, wasn't it, guys?
She is
Absolutely.
she is currently the longest standing AEW champion. She's held the championship for longer than anybody else who is currently holding a championship in AEW, which is real sad. I feel like Chris Statlander getting hurt really kind of like catapulted her to like, well, guess we're just going to leave this on her because Statlander ought to be the AEW Women's Champ. Actually, they really never should have taken. They never should have taken it off of Nyla Rose. That's a hot take, actually. People are probably going to disagree with me with that because Nyla Rose is not actually good at wrestling, but Nyla Rose actually looks like she could kill you, and her promos about breaking bitches are phenomenal. So I would prefer that to these weird, crappy, kind of sloppy Sheeta matches, but that's just me.
Well, good news for you, sir, is that seems to be where they're going, is back to Nyla Rose, because after that match, she came out and, oh, yeah. Really? You disagree?
And who else came out at the end of that match?
I don't know who.
Maki Ito and Dr. Britt all came out at the end of that match.
All three.
Nyla Rose again.
Maki Ito is not. I'm not into that. That's just like at first I was like, oh, that's interesting, and the people are like, oh, she doesn't care what you think, and I'm like, well, that's not like I don't care that she doesn't care. Like I'm just not gonna watch it. Like that's the thing that kills me about like AEW as a thing. It's like we don't care what you think. We're just gonna do it. Particularly that's how the fans are, not necessarily AEW as a whole, although their numbers and views better. All of that's concerned, it's like they pull out they pull out Maki Ito, and it's like this is let's tone it down a little bit. Abaddon I'm down with though.
Yeah,
let's see more of that.
Well, they made her lose, and then they sent her ass back down to Dark, and we haven't seen her on Dynamite since.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying let's see more. Although her in ring work's not that good, but the gimmick is good. I feel like
she's fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, the Abaddon gimmick is good, as is Nyla Rose's gimmick. Like those are good gimmicks.
I said I made the comment last night that that match should have been Britt Baker. They've spent all this time building Dr. Britt as this heel. This like chicken shit.
I think they want Dr. Britt to beat her though.
Yeah, and that's gotta be the natural progression here. It has to be. But the thing is, I felt like they missed the mark a little bit, but at the same point in time, they've still got a story to tell with this Thunder Rosa Dr. Britt thing. So, let's elevate Dr. Britt off of Thunder Rosa. I see where you're at with that. It's all well and good, but we are past the days of Hikaru Shida. And who was really impressive. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. Next match, Miro and Kip. Let's talk about a fucking throwaway match. Okay. What a dumpster fire.
I have something to say. everybody complained about how poorly Rusev was used in WWE. He's been used 10 times worse I think I've said this before. He's been used 10 times worse in AEW, and I saw clips of this is awful. Everything that they've done with Miro thus far has been white hot bullshit. And truthfully, I didn't think that I would dislike something more than I disliked the Bobby Lashley Lana Cuck angle that they took in WWE, because I hate that. Like that as a whole, to me, that style of writing and that like idea of writing as just a whole thing, like that to me is just, it's gross and it's stupid, and it like plays to idiots. It plays to the wrong kind of idiots, and it's just it's completely wrong. And if you like that stupid he's a cuck, if that's you, like I don't know, man. And get a really good therapist or something, because that was awful. But this is worse. This is literally worse. Like it's just so nonsense, throwaway bullshit, terrible. It like Miro beats up this guy, and it's this is terrible. I don't understand why this is a feud. I feel like it started when like Miro brought like a video game to the side of the ring, and like somebody broke it,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
exactly
like
when this started.
Yeah.
and like here
That
we
is
are
definitely
now.
what it was. Yep.
You broke my video game that I put where I shouldn't have put it. And
Yeah.
it was like a big arcade machine.
Yeah, it was a big arcade cabinet. Yeah,
It was like why is this here? Shouldn't this be like in your basement somewhere? Why did you bring it to the show? Like,
it's
you
your own
gonna just
damn fault, Miro.
God, like it was so like, this is the
I
dumbest.
think it was Kip technically, but yeah, still same thing.
It's still, but it's just
Yeah,
it's
it was
so
his
dumb.
best man gift.
It's
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
right,
Kip
it
was
wasn't.
playing
But
it.
okay, that's I forgot about that. That's a little less
Mhm.
dumb, but it's still dumb that he brought it to the ring. I mean, I guess I get it. It's very, but that's so very like '90s like WWE. It really is, and like, and not like the good '90s WWE, like the early '90s,
Yeah.
or like or like bad WCW. That's very bad WCW like booking there. So I don't know. It's real bad what they're doing with Miro. It's real terrible. And like he should have just showed up and been like a monster and killed everybody. Like, just let him roll up in a tank again. Just fuck it. Like, be like,
Yeah, fuck it.
you know what? Vince was wrong. This tank angle is good. Just let him roll up in a tank. Let him show up in a tank. Just kill everybody. Kick the hell out. Because the dude he's one of the legitimate like monsters they have. Like, he
Yeah.
should have just
Yeah.
killed. Like, he should have showed up and just like decimated Kenny Omega. That's what he should have done. Is just beat the living tar out of Kenny Omega and like held up his bloody head like, I'm AEW now. And that should have been it. And we should be in the age of Miro, but we are not. And he's doing this thing with Kip Sabian, who nobody cares about.
No, everybody cares about Penelope.
I don't care about her either.
Uh,
Hey, look, whatever, but still no. Look, I can tell you're wrong, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. I do like your idea though, honestly. Like, I would actually like to be watching that, The Age of Miro.
Yeah,
That sounds
for
good.
sure.
Yeah, that would be
For
good.
sure. We definitely dropped the ball.
But
with Miro
instead,
here.
we have to cater to all the mid-sized guys that run the show. So, and now we have a Kenny Omega champion that is never ever going to stop, and apparently makes horrible rings. Go on to the next subject, please, sir.
The next subject, the next match was the big money match between Matt Hardy and Hangman Adam Page.
Big money, Matt.
Yeah, big money Matt. You want to know how big money this was? Derek and I both fell asleep watching this match. True story.
Were you cuddling?
No,
I feel like you did. You fall asleep like heads touching?
No, we were in separate chairs. We did. We both
always got to keep separate chairs.
I like woke up and I was like, Derek, we fell asleep. He's like, I'm awake and I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then we immediately began to shit on the end of this match.
Yes. And I went and got coffee.
Yeah. Derek went and got coffee and I drank more beer. Yeah, I don't know.
Coffee.
It just
10
clearly it didn't do anything for either one of us. it's sad because I think that Adam Page has a lot of potential to be a big time star. He's got great in ring work, and they're missing the boat with him right now, and that seems to be my take on a lot of these stars. Is they're just right now, and that's where what it's going to take for me to become a believer is to stop investing time in guys like Matt Hardy.
But after Hangman won, didn't he make some hugs with the Dark Order? Because he posted that thing. He's like, maybe it's the friends you make along, maybe the big money is the friends you make along the way, and like the whole Dark Order came out and hugged him, and he threw a few back.
Yeah, he's going to join Dark Order, and so isn't
He
the
already
other.
told them no. He said, I've been a part of it before. It didn't work out so good.
He's going to just be the new Colt Cabana of the Dark Order that just kind of hangs around. He's kind of there, but he's not.
Speaking of Colt Cabana, speaking of things that suck.
Wait, why do we need a new
Colt
one?
Cabana.
What happened to him?
Well, he's like a full-fledged Dark Order member now, pal.
Does he wear a mask?
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying then.
But he wears their colors and shit now.
He should wear a mask.
Should wear a lot of colors.
Why do you hate Colt Cabana?
Go ahead, Tom. Why do you hate Colt Cabana?
Because he sucks. He can't help himself but be outlaw mud show. That Superman pin is
bad.
That Superman pin is the dumbest thing in the history of anything. And it's nobody that doesn't work.
Is it dumber than the orange punch?
No. Yes.
What about the dick flip? Is it worse than the dick flip? Because that's probably the bottom of the barrel.
Oof. Is it worse? No, it's not worse than the dick flip. It's not worse than the dick flip. That's the worst.
Yes.
Although everybody, oh my God, can we talk about him for a minute?
Go ahead, pal.
Can we talk about Joey Ryan for a minute? I can't believe that for years, and I know I'm digging up, like, I'm beating dead horse for it, just like, oh man, Joey Ryan, like, can you believe this guy? Like, Joey Ryan, like, he's the biggest star in wrestling. He's the best thing ever. And oh my God, how come the AEW needs to sign this guy? He's the best guy. Oh my God, Joey Ryan, what the best dude ever. And like the dude that like makes other people touch his penis, and like that was his gimmick for years and years. And then all of a sudden, oh man, this guy's a sexual harasser. I'm so stunned. Oh my God, like how I look. I was never into it. When Ken Shamrock did it, and I was like, are we kidding, Ken Shamrock? Are we kidding?
Yeah.
Everything, like the House of Cards fell after that. But that was, to answer your question, the dick flip is worse. Let's go on with the show.
So then we had the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Cody Rhodes, Pentagon, Scorpio Sky, Lance Archer, Max Caster, and Ethan Page, the Karate Man himself. That's who that is, right? Ethan Page, that's a Karate Man from Impact, right?
I had no idea. That was the one that I was like, Walt, who the fuck is that?
Sure that's the Karate Man. You know what really bugged me about this match? And Derek, I know you're going to agree with me. AEW really needs to stop taking digs at Vince McMahon and WWE because it's getting fucking old.
They did that again?
Yeah, they had
I didn't hear about this. What'd they do?
The Face of the Revolution ladder match. The winner had to climb the ladder and grab the brass ring. Now, we all know as wrestling fans, the brass ring is a Vince McMahonism. So, like, why? Why do we have to continue to take shots at these guys? And then with the announcement of possibly NXT moving to Tuesday, they're like, oh, we're going to put out a nice little statement. Why? Who cares? Who cares?
It's dumb.
You know who benefits from NXT possibly moving to Tuesday nights? Wrestling fans.
Yo.
We benefit.
It's easier.
Who cares? Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
The Wednesday Night War was dumb. It was never a war. Nobody cared. Okay. Yeah. NXT moving to Tuesday. Thursday would be even better because there's some of us that watch, Impact or Ring of Honor and who, NWA's on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Who cares? This is good for wrestling fans. I don't want to go off the. Anyway, Scorpio Sky wins. He grabs the brass ring. And it was a decent little ladder match. I don't know. Derek and I kind of were like bullshitting most of the time and eating mango habanero wings.
I mean, it was fine, but he just
habanero.
won the golden life jacket ring thing.
Yeah, it looked like it did. It looked like a life preserver from a ship that was painted gold with gold spray paint. That's what it looked like.
It's not even brass looking.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb.
Well,
so Scorpio Sky is gonna face Darby Allin on Wednesday for the TNT title.
Basically, he has the Money in the Bank briefcase.
He's basically gonna lose though, because they're not taking that off Darby. Darby's too cool with that, right? Like that's the coolest thing they have in AEW.
Well, he's a hoodlum.
Right? I mean, just saying.
They're not taking that off of Darby. There's no way.
That's literally the coolest thing they have in AEW. They're like, we built this guy from nobody knew his name, and now he's a household name, and he's literally good. And it's like they're not taking that off. If they take that off of him on Wednesday, they are the dumbest. It's the dumbest wrestling promotion in the history of dumb wrestling promotions, of which that list is not short.
I think they're putting too much stock in Scorpio Sky's name, though, as far as recognition for giving Darby even more of a rub upwards trajectory-wise. To us, obviously, we know who Scorpio Sky is. He's good. He's real good.
I think he's real good.
If we're talking a normal household,
I'm real shocked.
I don't know how many people really know about him.
I'm real shocked he hasn't had like a good WWE run either in NXT or something. Like I'm pretty shocked that he's not had, because most of these guys have had some short run, especially the guys on that. Like I'm really shocked that he hasn't, because he's got the look, he's got the size, he's got the move set. I'm really shocked.
He's great.
It seems like it's maybe just of his own volition that he didn't. I don't know why that would be, because he's been in the business for as long as he has. But yeah, he seems like a guy that should have been.
One thing that I noticed this last night, though, Derek, I don't even know if you noticed it because you didn't say anything, and I know that you're a big SCU mark. He didn't come out to his SCU. He's got
no. He's
got new theme music. He's got a new video package. And he was kind of like little Healy on there on Wednesday there on Dynamite whenever he was at the commentary booth.
I feel like they broke up SCU sort of. Did they not?
Did.
I think they just split Scorpio Sky off.
Yeah, they intentionally did that a bit ago to where it's not just became a champion, but they've done absolutely nothing with him to move him towards that. And definitely by losing to Darby on Wednesday, that's not going to change anything. I mean,
no, sure isn't.
The TNT Championship is a mid-tier title. It's obviously not the World Heavyweight Championship. So saying you can't even beat that, then you definitely don't need an opportunity at Kenny. Kenny. Oh, sparkle fingers.
Twinkle toes McFinger bang. To quote Jim Cornette.
So speaking of Darby Allin, let's talk about Sting and Darby versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, the cinematic street fight. Full disclosure, Derek and I watched this on Fast Forward because after the brass ring reference and some subsequent pretty subpar matches, Derek and I were just ready to watch the exploding barbed wire match.
Yes. But I really do believe that was going to be a good one. I think there was probably a lot of good stuff in there, and I am going to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it too. I really liked the presentation. It was kind of all black and white. It looked like they did a really good job shooting that match. Sting and Darby won as we expected they would. And there was, they had a little ring set up in a warehouse, and then they had like an army of Darby Stings that were face painted half Darby Allin style, half Sting style. Sting himself had half
that was
Darby.
Cool.
Yeah, Sting himself had half Darby's face paint, half Sting's face paint, which I thought was a nice little touch. So good on them for making that something special. I'm definitely going to go back and watch this one myself. Obviously Team Taz got involved at some point. Hooks and Will Hobbs kind of jumped them and beat up on them a little bit. But yeah, it looked like in the times 15 speed that Derek and I watched it in the 7 minutes that we did watch it. Yeah, we were in a get down. and it definitely, of course, according to the grading that I'm kind of scrolling through to recap the card, it was the highest graded match on the card. So
That's
now,
because they let Sting take a break and get some water
yes,
between,
yes.
because he's not.
Between power bombs from Brian Cage.
So, gentlemen, we are 41 minutes into this show right now, and we have finally come to the AEW World
Oh, this show.
Championship Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match. Kenny Omega versus John Moxley. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give my take real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys have at it. Overall, I thought that this was a very well worked match. These guys definitely went in there. They put their shit together. They laid it in. You could tell that they had a great game plan going into the match. They put together a banger of a match, for that style. There was a couple of spots that were really, really well told. Like when Kenny went into the ropes face off and he yelled for the water and he was like selling that he burned his eyes, and like that was good storytelling. They told some stories there. But however, the end of the match was much to be desired. However, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna count it. The one-winged angel has been kicked out of.
Oh, no, that works.
I'm gonna count it, and
I saw that clip.
I told Derek last night I was counting it.
He kicked the explosives. That doesn't count. No,
He kicked out.
doesn't count. Doesn't count.
It's protected, but I feel like the kicking of the explosives is okay. Yeah,
it's still protected at this aspect,
God, I hate everything about these kind of matches. Derek, you talk. I
was so excited for this fucking match. I was so
bro.
Excited.
He brought the T-shirt. Listen, let me tell the story. So Derek bought the T-shirt before the match. Like we were like into the main card, and he hadn't said a word in like 20 minutes. I'm like, bro, what are you doing over there? And he's like, I'm sorry, I was buying some T-shirts. Look at this one, and it was like a full-on Marky Mark T-shirt. Mr.
That's
AEW.
what I even said too.
Yeah,
That's
and like, so then really the death match comes on. T-shirt, and he was like, yeah, I knew I bought that T-shirt for a reason. And then it happened.
It's the commemorative T-shirt. It's great. I bought the T. I won't repeat what I said in our group text, but I was not very excited that I bought that T-shirt after seeing that match. It's
Derek,
not really something that
I want to hear your take on this, because I have things to say that aren't, because I watched I've seen like half this match. So
I got you. Okay. So
I need to hear your take.
Going into this, I'm a big fan of the deathmatch wrestling. I'm all about it, and I was expecting great things. I thought this was going to be a good time. I'm going to see some blood. I'm going to see some some action. We're going to see old John Moxley. But what we saw, I mean, Moxley bled like crazy, but I've seen better barbed wire matches in high school gyms locally here. This at the YMCA, that was terrible. I expected us to see on a pay-per-view the top notch with all the money backing that you have. What are we gonna do here? Like sacrifice, man. If this is what you want to do, you guys seriously put up. You're gonna have a barbed wire match, and instead, what we had was the most pitiful attempt at razor wire looking stuff and smoke bombs. There was smoke bombs and sparklers. It was a mess, and it was a huge disappointment. And I'm disappointed greatly. I'm sorry that I guess I had it up on a pedestal, man. I was up here and I was thinking for sure we were going to see something amazing. And to be honest, the first time they had their match at Double or Nothing, or no, I'm sorry, it was not Double or Nothing. It was the one after that. I felt that was a much better match than what we saw last night.
All right, you ready to hear what I have to say?
I am.
You ready to hear what I
get on it all you want?
I'm not. So here's the thing about this stuff. This like outlaw mud show, to quote Jim Cornette. These matches. Here's the problem with these is that on a level of national pay-per-view $50, one, you can't put it onto a thing. Look, we've seen I purchased the pay-per-view where Owen Hart died. I watched a man die, and I was like,
I too purchased that pay per view.
I was like 12. And that wasn't even some kind of exploding barbed wire death match. That was just his ring entrance, and he fell, and oh my god, and he was dead. So to kill somebody actually in a ring, to me, was killed for me at that point. When I was 12 years old, it was one of those things where it's just not something that I'm ever going to want to watch ever again, and so this was part of that. However, I knew going into it, it's like, well, nobody's going to die. It's going to be fine. John Moxley does this stuff all the time. However, I knew going into AEW is it's like, this is going to be watered down a little bit because why wouldn't it be? It's all been watered down thus far. So going into this, I knew that. And that's why I wouldn't, as I told you guys, pay to watch them tear themselves from asshole to appetite. Although they did not do that, they just had a match, which clearly, I mean, part of it worked, part of it didn't, and the part that didn't was the ending. Although to me, the ending was like it was fine. Like it wasn't. I wasn't hyped for it. I wasn't excited for it. Speaking of hype, we still got to talk about Christian.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay. But so there was that level of hype that was like, oh man, we got this death match, barbed wire. Oh my god, on pay-per-view, that's never been done before because obviously WWE doesn't do those. And so that's what we had. But there was no way this was ever going to be that level of like indie, like, oh my god, these guys will actually kill themselves for $20 type of thing. And so that was never going to happen. And so me going into this, I was not expecting some kind of like, oh, everybody's dead, there's third-degree burns, yada yada yada. I thought what they told at the end with the cover. Who covered Moxley?
Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston. Yeah.
His boy that came. That was great. But then
So that was kind of cool. Although,
yeah.
like, had it actually blown up and there'd been like actual like, oh my god, Eddie Kingston's hurt. Like I don't know if there was a gimmick there that maybe got botched, or like maybe there was like heat of like not blowing up and it like being like a Joker, like pan, like pow, like just I'm gonna shoot you in the head, except pow. The little thing comes out that just is a flag that says bang. I don't know if there's that aspect to it. I'm sure they'll like totally like pull back the curtain and be like, "Oh yeah, we did that to you on purpose." Pow or whatever.
Basically their response up to this point has been that Kenny Omega makes a terrible exploding ring.
Yeah, that was like, yeah. I mean,
that's actually what Tony Khan reiterated after the pay-per-view.
Okay, so there was a botch. So it was a botch then. That was the
no.
It was a botch.
Leading up to the whole thing, we actually saw Kenny building the ring, and he was making a John Moxley death, machine or whatever, specifically to end John Moxley. And apparently he's terrible at it. That's actually what Tony Khan seems to
that was
pushing.
the story that they told after the match. And I mean, Moxley cut the promo, in the ring, talking about, Kenny Omega's a tough son of a bitch, but can't build an exploding ring worth shit, blah blah blah. It was just they knew that they had to do damage control, because after the explosion went off,
There were sparks.
It was some sparklers and some smoke bombs that, and the crowd booed. They didn't have a choice but to kind of do some damage control here, and this is kind of what they went on. They kayfabed it.
They did, and you know what they should have done is when they decided that it was going to be sparklers and smoke bombs. It really should have just. And there were some M80 booms on the outside, but it wasn't. There wasn't fire and explosions, and it wasn't cool.
No, they missed the mark.
They probably should have just had like things like flags pop out that said "bang." Truthfully,
and that would have been more entertaining.
Yeah, it would have been like, Oh, you son of a bitch. Because that was the story. Also, they should have told the story of like, if you're still in the ring when that time goes off, you're dead. Like that should have that wasn't built to it was I mean, I guess maybe that's what the exploding barbed wire death match is. Like, but I didn't know that going into it. So for me it's like, oh, it's an exploding barbed wire death match. A cynical wrestling fan. I go, okay, that's dumb. Whatever. And I don't watch it because it's dumb. And what they did was exactly what I thought it was going to be, and dumb. I mean, I've had worse wrestling matches with GI Joes and M80s, you know. So it was what it was, and I feel like they sold it wrong. Look, they could have done exactly what they did, or even like sort of lesser, and had it come off a lot better. But they're just not. I go back to booking every time. AEW's booking is terrible, and this is just another example of that.
Hey, pal, Tony Khan is the 2020 Booker of the Year, according to Dave Meltzer in the
Who
Wrestling
says that?
Observer Radio.
Are you serious?
Dave Meltzer must be fucking drunk.
He is out of his fucking mind.
Hey, bro, Derek, don't even start, man. You're the one that's like lines with Dave.
Hold on.
Out about AEW all week, every week.
Hold on. Pause yourself there, bro. Look, Dave Meltzer is off his fucking rocker, and like the man must be like drunk to the point where he's seeing two, because there's been no booking. It's been basically shoddy thrown together for the whole year. I mean, look, we can crap on WWE all we want, and they put out plenty of bad stuff.
Sure
but at least it's booked. At least it's written. At least there's things happening. Like this is just sort of seems to be like a random hodgepodge of like where this is gonna happen, bah! And it's like, well, but why? It doesn't fucking matter. Bah!
Yep.
That's where we've been. Like there's a few things that are like sort of drawn out a little bit, or they like after the fact kind of like put a segment together that makes sense and is well done, but it's like that those are few and far between, and it's like you get one, whereas there's no build other than that like one segment. It's like, all right, we built with that like 1 20-second segment, now they can have a 30-minute match that doesn't mean anything and is a spot fest. So
and then they just throw everybody together all the time. It's just random how they throw them together. There's not a singular thread going through from week to week.
There's no
saying,
story
well, this is happening because of this, and
Yeah, why did Scorpio Sky win a match?
Where has he even been? He hasn't even been wrestling.
Right? Does that make sense that he won a match on a pay-per-view because he hasn't wrestled in a couple months?
He needed a paycheck, and here we go.
I don't understand. Now he's going to fight Darby. He's going to lose probably, and and if you didn't buy the $50 pay-per-view, you're going to see Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin with no build, and you're going to go, oh, Scorpio Sky won a match, so now he gets to fight Darby. Darby's going to beat him. I mean, it'll probably be a 20-minute match. Don't get me wrong.
Well, because
but that's it. Then you're done.
The theme of last night was every single match was way, way too long.
Well, and then you get a coffin drop on what's going to happen is I'm calling this now, and this happens when this happens on Wednesday. I want next week everybody to be like, Tom, I can't believe you don't watch that much AEW, but you called this to the T. It's going to be like a 20-minute match, like maybe 15 minutes. And
no, it'll be 20. It'll probably be 35.
It might be. I mean, I don't know what they've got booked for Wednesday. Everybody might be out there.
Neither do they, pal.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Good.
And so there'll be this long match, and then like, oh my god, coffin drop, and out of nowhere, although Scorpio Sky has been getting in all of the offense, he will 1, 2, 3 to the coffin drop, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Calling it now. It's called. If I'm wrong, we'll talk about it next week.
So now that Revolution is in the books, let's talk about AEW and the mystery signing. Okay.
Right. The big surprise.
Now, I had made a comment to you guys earlier this week that if it was anybody but CM Punk or Brock Lesnar, that it was going to be the most dramatic letdown in the history of pro wrestling.
It was never going to be either of those men.
Well, it had the potential to be either of those men, and actually, it should have been. If it was going to be anybody, the way that it was hyped up, if it should have been anybody, it should have been CM Punk, because he's the only one that is equipped to go in there and help that promotion. He's the only one.
Is he
Okay,
still equipped though? I mean, he's the only one
but
that was equipped.
instead, we got fucking Christian Cage. Okay.
Fucking Christian
Love
Cage.
me some Christian. Okay, there's not a dude that is going to work harder in professional wrestling than Christian. But you are on a 47-year-old man that hasn't been in the ring in at least 8 years because of fucking brain problems, and you're going to put all your eggs in one basket because of fucking for Christian Cage? Are you out of your fucking mind? What is wrong with the fucking Tony Khan in AEW? Like, I cannot stand the fact that this was hyped up so ridiculously and we got Christian. Had Christian been the guy that the ladder match, I'd have been hyped because I love me some Christian. But they did a better job handling the Paul White thing than they did the Christian thing. How are you going to just drop, hey, send a tweet out, hey, we signed Paul White. Hey, wow, that's awesome. But then you're going to hype the shit up. And then Tony Khan's on Bustin' Open Radio. He's on AEW's podcast, Unrestricted. He's here. He's there. He's tweeting. He's Instagramming. Oh, this is going to be Christian fucking Cage. Are we out of our goddamn minds? Why can't we take somebody like Miro, an actual signing that made sense, and make him the fucking monster? Make him the face of the fucking place. Why can't we do that? But instead, we're going to bring in Christian fucking Cage, and we think that he's going to be the one that saves the world. It just doesn't make any sense. If you're going to put anybody in that spot, it needs to be Miro. We've already missed the boat with that. They had a chance with Brian Cage too, even though he's a fucking dumpster fire. They dropped the ball there. They had the chance with Lance Archer. They dropped the ball there. So what are they going to do? Oh, we've got Christian. Oh, this is great. This is the greatest thing ever. Oh, we're going to put the championship on him. He's going to beat Kenny Omega. He's going to be the face of the future. For what? Next 365 days before he bumps his head and can't compete anymore? Or like, what's the fucking deal here? How in the bloody hell are you going to hype this shit up so much and it's Christian fucking Cage? Somebody fucking interrupt me here because I'm just going to keep going because it's fucking ridiculous.
I mean, it is. It's terrible. I'm pretty sure our silence just explains all that.
As a quote-unquote casual AEW fan, okay, that was super hyped to watch this pay-per-view for this announcement, and you give me Christian fucking Cage, and then he comes out and he signs a contract. He doesn't even cut a fucking promo. Tony Khan knew goddamn well. He had a 90-second fucking segment. He walked out. He did his little peep show thing. He went out there. He pulled a clipboard out. He flipped. He signed the contract, and he walked away. Tony Khan knew he was fucked. He knew he was dead in the water, because he overhyped this shit. Tony Khan fucking does this every time he talks about a free agent signing. He's like, oh, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then we get fucking dog shit. It's ridiculous. What a fucking giant waste of time. That's a tweet. That's an Instagram post. You don't need to fucking make thousands of people buy a $50 pay-per-view and then fucking put all these shit ass fucking dog shit matches out there for everybody to watch so we can watch Christian fucking Cage sign a fucking contract. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Are you out of your goddamn mind? That's the fucking problem with Tony Khan and fucking AEW. I can't take it. This is ridiculous.
Derek, do you know say? Because I mean, I don't disagree with Walt. I have things to say about Christian, but Derek, do you have?
I give two shits about Christian signing with AEW.
See,
I think it was way overhyped. It's stupid. I'm not really worried. You know, like Walt has already covered. It could have been Lance Archer. It could have been Brian Cage. It could have been Miro. And it should have been one of these young guys. Why are we going to not promote young guys? I come back to this all the time, but it's the truth. It makes no sense, and I'm pretty sure Walt's covered all the bases. So yeah. Let you go if you want.
So am I the least salty? But I'm the least salty about this. That's weird. That is weird. I feel weird. All right, so let's talk about Christian as a human being. Did they overhype it? Oh my god!
Oh,
Oh my
that's
god!
not even the word.
Oof. Overhype is like oof. Oof. This should have been a surprise. The fact that they talked about an AEW signing, this should have absolutely been a surprise. Like Christian should have came out and he should have been like, Christian Cage is all elite. He should have at least said that, signed a contract, did the thing, and walked out. That's what should have happened. It didn't happen. It was like hyped to the level of like everybody had huge raging boners about, oh my god, it could be Brock Lesnar. Oh my god, maybe it's Kurt Angle. Oh my god. Oh my god! And people like, even if like, oh my, it's Bully Ray. Like, why would it be Bully Ray? That doesn't make sense. And it was
I
like,
knew I threw out there New Jack earlier.
yeah, I mean,
Maybe it's
New Jack.
him.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. There was also like inklings of like, well, maybe it's RVD. Like RVD actually would have made a ton of sense.
That was believable. Yeah.
It was believable. It was RVD to me is the same level as Christian, but let's take it back to Christian. I love Christian. Okay, Christian Cage. I know Christian Cage. Whatever. I'm gonna call him Christian because Jay Riso, the man, I like. I think him as as a talent is like he's right now like he is immediately the best talent in AEW right now to me. Like Christian's better. He's better than Kenny Omega. Hot take. Christian is better than Kenny Omega. Like the man is in phenomenal shape. However, Walt, you're right. He's maybe a glass cannon. He's been out for like a decade almost with a brain injury, and does he take another hard fall from not safe workers, and now he needs to go away. I mean, I know he thinks he's still got a lot left in the tank. I think that he probably does. He looks like he does.
Oh, he looks phenomenal.
He's what, 47?
47.
That's not like I know it's old for like a wrestler, but it's not particularly old.
But here's the thing, dude. We spend week in and week out. We should be talking about Jurassic Express, but instead we're talking about Jurassic fucking Park. Okay, because we've got
Absolutely.
61-year-old Sting.
Yes.
We've got 67-year-old Tully Blanchard. We've got 47-year-old Christian Cage, Jay Riso, who I love. I am an Edge and Christian mark, and I have
Hold
not.
on. Just for as far as Edge and Christian are concerned, where's the? You told me there was going to be pyro when I said Edge. Edge. There we go.
Sorry, I was still a little pissed off.
Anyway, so as far as Christian is concerned, there's for me, Christian does for me something that AEW has not done for me, which is make me possibly want to tune in. Look, the fact that they've got Sting in a thing right now with Darby Allin, like that's great. And I mean, I liked Sting when I was 4, but I'm Sting's not in his 30s anymore, and I'm not 4, so it's a little hard for me to get into Sting now. Christian, however, was in his 20s when I was in my teens. And that's, to me, a little more connecting. He can still go. I watched it. I've seen it happen. I know Christian can go. And if Christian's in a thing in AEW, even if they're kid gloves, for him to like make sure they don't hurt his brain some more, I'm down to watch Christian, and watching Christian is something that will get me to tune in on Wednesday more than Sting, more than Paul White. Yes, sorry, Paul White. That's to me a bigger draw. As somebody who did not spend $50 on the pay-per-view, watching Christian on a Wednesday is a bigger draw to me than literally anything else they have going on right now. So from my perspective, to see that signing is good. The only thing that I would have been like kind of more hype about, I know he's probably still signed with WWE for a while, but the only thing that would have been like a little bit more hype for me would have been like Samoa Joe is all elite, and I'd have been like, holy fuck, Samoa Joe. Like,
I'd have been good with that too.
like
There
that's the
wasn't
one
actually
thing.
a reason that he stopped, right? He just went to commentary, or was there
No,
an injury that I'm?
he's got concussion problems, pal.
I see.
He's in the same boat. He's just not. They can't clear him because like he still wakes up dizzy, and it's like there was an interview with him recently that's just like very like, God damn, like yeah, it's like he still wakes up dizzy.
Well,
And
into WWE's foray into the YouTube platform, he has his own show. It's like Grits and Glory or Grit and Glory or something like that. It's like an interview show. It's pretty good. But
Nice.
I want to see Samoa Joe choking people out and putting people, Uranagiing people through the goddamn mat. That's what I want to see out of Samoa Joe.
I would pay Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. I feel like to me is Samoa Joe is a face like, but is like a tweener kind of face. Versus Roman Reigns as the hard heel, I feel like that's the money, and I want to see that more than I want to see a lot of things. Like that's one of those things where like, to me it's like, oh my god, but he's still, God, he keeps failing those concussion protocols, and I know that's like one of those things where it's like, well, we can't drop you on your head if you wake up dizzy sometimes, so we don't really want you to die or to like go nuts and kill your family because that's a possibility.
Yeah, because
happens.
we've seen that happen.
Mm-hmm.
In the post Chris Benoit world, I get it because I don't want that to happen to Samoa Joe either. However, my missing Samoa Joe matches is like up here somewhere. It's like it's real high. So I'm really glad to see Christian back, and I'm glad that will work. That seems to be working out for him in a way that he can like actually work matches and not take a bump and like have enough brain damage to kill his family. Because I know he's got a wife and beautiful daughters that I know that like is something that is important to him and is important to like for him as a human. I don't want that to happen. But him being around and just like let the man cut a promo, for the love of God, let the man cut a promo.
So listen, I'm gonna and then I've got some closing words on this, and then we're gonna move on. I don't want my words to be misconstrued that I am not happy that Christian has an opportunity to write the ending of his career the way that he deserves to write it. Okay. I love me some Christian. I have everybody knows Edge and Christian Mark. Everybody knows that. I do not hide that. But he was not worth the hype and the investment. It was almost like a bait and switch. And I think that's why I'm so pissed off about it, was because it has a very big bait and switch feel. And it's like Christian is absolutely a phenomenal singles guy, and it's unfortunate that WWE two world heavyweight title runs in the same feud against Randy Orton. And that was a fun story. That was a lot of fun. And I mean, it's hard to put somebody in there with Randy Orton and it not be good because that's how good Randy Orton is. But what is happening right now with AEW is very TNA-esque. They're going out and they're signing a bunch of guys from WWE to create some buzz. And then to go. And it's an unfortunate situation for Christian to be in because he does have all the talent in the world. And I think he's absolutely going to do great things for AEW. He's been put in a situation to fail.
Maybe.
Because there's already so much fan backlash because of how overhyped this was. And
Well,
now
it's not his fault, but it's his
it,
responsibility to turn chicken shit
and
into chicken salad. So figure it out.
correct, Eric. I don't think that you've ever said anything smarter in your entire life.
Derek's a smart guy.
It pains you, doesn't it? It pains
Yeah,
you.
it does. I had to compliment you there. I
He's
didn't really know what to
he's a
fucking do.
smart guy. Look, Derek's a smart guy. I'm just gonna give that.
So, guys, we're in overtime here, but we have 2 more topics to cover. So let's get
That's because
after
you
it.
had to,
No,
suck
don't
Christian's
don't
nut
don't
for
don't put this about me,
15
pal.
minutes.
Okay. So one
Jesus.
question that I have for you two, okay, with everything that has happened over the last year, because we are officially like 8 days away from the United States shutdown, because everything happened like right around 316. Because if you think about it, on Friday,
It was 314. No, was it 316?
it was 313. So listen,
313.
so
Yeah.
313 was the last live event in Buffalo, New York, SmackDown. I had tickets.
Right, 316 didn't happen.
I had tickets to 316. So one thing that we were in a group, a wrestling group that I'm on in Facebook, we were talking about. One of the things was like, it's crazy that it's been a year. And some guy was like, I had tickets to 316 Day in Pittsburgh. And I said, so did I. But let's think about this. That would have, if 316 Day in Pittsburgh would have happened, and then the world shut down on 317 on Tuesday, that would have been the last time that anybody saw The Undertaker walk to the ring. That would have been the last time that anybody saw Stone Cold walk to the ring. Like, because those 2 guys were booked for that show. So that's crazy. And I missed out on that. But we are now entering the road to WrestleMania, where we are going to have live fans in attendance at Raymond James Stadium for the 2-night extravaganza. My question for you gentlemen is, how is the live audience going to react to the product that is being put in front of us? Because we all know that the reactions are based off of what Vince McMahon wants us to know, wants us to hear, wants us to appreciate, wants us to cheer, wants us to boo. What are the live reactions going to be come WrestleMania? Is Roman Reigns going to get booed like he should be getting booed because he's a heel? Or are us as fans going to appreciate the effort and hard work that Roman Reigns has put in and want to cheer that man because we booed him as a babyface? Are we going to cheer him as a heel?
I think it's going to be a different dynamic on the 2 separate nights. Since there are going to be 2 nights, I think you're going to see night 1, it's going to be super high energy. I think both are going to be super high energy. But night 1, I think there's going to be a lot more forgiveness, a lot more just like we want to cheer everything. Now, there might come a time when if you want to talk specifically Roman, yeah, they're definitely
I'm just using him as an
they're going to
example.
boo Roman freaking hard because they have not had a year to boo Roman. And we loved booing Roman when we weren't even supposed to be booing Roman. So, of course, we're going to take advantage of this and just destroy this poor man's soul with our cries of hatred. I mean, this is what we have paid our $150 a ticket. Probably way more than that. I'm just throwing that out there. But that's what we've paid to do. That's what we've come to do. And yeah, I am coming there to just go wild, cheer like crazy, boo like crazy. But do I think everything is going to go exactly as they plan? I don't know, man. My opinions are not are probably not in line with most. Like I can't stand Matt Riddle's stuff. He's probably going to get in my mind. I'm thinking, he's probably going to get booed. But this whole time they've been cheering him in Vince McMahon's fake audience realm. But I'm really kind of at a loss for how that certain aspects will actually really, really go. I mean, is Sami Zayn going to get booed or cheered? Like, I love what Sami Zayn's doing.
I love what
But
Sami
is the
Zayn's doing
crowd
too.
going to react to him with boos?
That's why I
Like,
used
I
Roman
don't think
Reigns
they
as
should.
an example. That's why I use Roman Reigns as an example, because I love what Roman's doing right now. And there's a lot of people that think that Roman's storyline's getting stale, and I'm going to completely disagree with that because week in and week out, he continues to come out there and he continues to just evolve this character and look bigger and better and badder every single week.
Yep, he's good.
I
and it's
appreciate
going
what
to
he's
keep
doing.
going. We're about to hit the spot where The Rock comes in. So, all that's going to be overhyped anyway, because I'm not saying The Rock's going to be overhyped. I'm just saying what you're saying, that they're saying it's getting stale. It isn't going to matter. As soon as you smell what The Rock is cooking hits,
Oh, place is gonna go
everyone's going
bananas.
to be like, I love this storyline. This has
It's
been the
gonna go
greatest stuff I've seen.
banana.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be a nice 2 days of pent-up energy. I can't wait to see the first day. That's where we're going to see some fireworks, boys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that the crowd is going to react accordingly. In my opinion, I think that they are just as invested in what is going on from home as they're going to be, in the arena. And Tom, I know you might have missed the last couple of seconds here. You had to go let the goat out. Um, you know, uh, Sami Zayn, they're gonna boo Roman Reigns because that's what they want to do and that's what they've done. What's your opinion on the matter? Do you think that the WrestleMania fans are going to fall in line and act according to what Vince McMahon has told us that the storylines are going to be for the last year?
Oh my God, yeah. So here's what I think is going to happen. WrestleMania is going to be just a thing where like everybody's happy. Everybody's going to be happy to be there. As far as booing Roman is concerned, or whether they boo him or they don't boo him, um, I think there'll be a little bit. I think it'll be the mix. I think you'll get some, and I think you'll get some like, and I think it'll be that sort of like the thing you used to get with The Rock when The Rock was really over, but he was a heel. And I think that'll be hyped up, not because Roman Reigns is as good as The Rock, but I think you'll get that like level of just like, God, we're so excited to be here that we're so much louder than we would have been otherwise. So I think that's going to happen. And I'm there for it. Look, I don't know that I would cheer or boo him either way. I think that his work has been phenomenal. And he's been kind of must see TV since he's been allowed to turn heel. And
Agreed.
for me, that's like, God, for somebody like me, God, I love a good heel, right? Like it's like, fuck, man, when you come out there and you're just a good heel, oh my God, you fill that level in my heart for me that like, it makes you like it makes you laugh when kids fall down. It's that kind of like, it's that like, oh God, nothing funnier than a fart except kids falling off of bikes. I don't give a fuck about your kids. It's that level of like Letterkenny level of just like I can't not love it. And I love Roman anyway, so I'm a big Roman Reigns mark. And you can call me a mark. I really like Roman Reigns. I've always liked him as a face, love him as a heel. And I'm really into what's happening right now. So like for me, if I was there personally, it would be hard not to cheer my ass off. However, I don't think it matters what he gets. If he gets cheers, that's great, and he'll probably react to that accordingly. If he gets cheers, if he gets boos, that's great too. He'll react to that accordingly. The man is a professional. The man is at the top of the game, and he's the man. And I can't stress enough how much he actually is the man. And I know that like people are very averse to that being like they're averse to it when Brock Lesnar was the man. Like we're very like anti Hulk Hogan now. We're smart fans now.
Yeah.
Um, but like with Roman, it's one of those things where it's like whatever happens, like he's gonna react accordingly, and it's just he's better than all of it, and it's gonna be phenomenal. Um, the fans as a whole, outside of that, um, I feel like they'll act pretty normal. I don't think that it's going to be too shocking or too surprising. I think people are going to be really excited to be at a live show, and I think we're going to see that not just in wrestling, just period moving forward. Look, I'm getting my second COVID shot on Wednesday, and I can't be more excited about it.
God bless that 31% BMI, pal.
Oh boy. Oh buddy, I'm so glad the BMI is bullshit. I am so glad. Look, I've been a thick boy, like it in my legs anyway, my whole life, and for once that shit finally paid off for me. Like your uncle was like, "You're too slow. I can't start you," and I'm like, "But my legs are big. I kick the ball hard." But it's no. Look, it's for me. Truthfully, I'm ready to be done with this. Look, I took this pandemic seriously as humanly possible.
Sure did, pal.
I did not get it. Thankfully, my kids did not get it. My wife did not get it. We are, and my wife and I will be vaccinated on Wednesday. Not to say that like people that got it did it wrong. I'm not trying to shit on anybody.
No, I mean, I worked with the public, bud. Like it was bound to happen.
God, I'm so glad you got it light. Truthfully, like I'm like, look, I know people like, who are like our age, like who took it like hard as hell, who were in better shape than we are. And they were out for like weeks and they're still like, I can't taste food. And I'm like, oh God, that would kill me. Like personally, like
nothing. If I couldn't taste my morning coffee, I would set Derek's house on fire.
I'm sorry about your house, Derek.
You got one of them 6-minute coffees he was telling me about yesterday.
Yeah, I bought a French press, man.
This motherfucker just puts
my
in work in the
Keurig shit
morning
the
before
bed.
he
My
gets a
brand new
sip.
Keurig shit the bed, and I bought a French press the other day.
Those are terrible.
Yeah,
Okay,
no way, man.
So wait.
I'm not getting up early for that bullshit.
Pause. Let's talk about coffee. Slow drip coffee is the way. It just is. You can make like a big ass pot of it, and it just like just go bleh, and it's like you don't have to like buy the little cups that like destroy the environment. Like I
Fuck
can
them
like
cups. Save the turtles.
Sorry, pal. I didn't realize that you two were a bunch of tree hugging fucking hippies.
I love.
Well, now you know. So fucking act appropriately, would you?
Bingo.
Okay, well, with all that nonsense being said, let's talk about match of the week.
Oh, we still have fun
Finally.
about that.
Yeah, we're fucking in overtime here, pal.
Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Let's try to knock it out in 8 minutes so that we can not run our longest run time.
Longest
It costs
ever?
extra if we go over 1:30.
No, it doesn't.
Tom, match
No.
of the week, pal.
Match OT week. So I actually kind of went back and forth on this for a little while, and I really thought hard about it. However, because it's Monday and last Monday Bobby Lashley won the world title. I'm gonna go with that because, truth be told, I've loved everything Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business has done for the last year, and they've done the best chicken shit heel Miz. Period. Look, what the Miz did in like 3 weeks is better. It was better storytelling, better heel work. But like the Miz is top tier heel on a level that's just not. We don't see it today.
Hey,
And
so let me just interject real quick. I just read a graphic today that came across my Facebook timeline that said that the Miz WWE champion that has cashed in on Money in the Bank at 8 days. And what a great 8-day title reign it was. It was like a perfect transition. He was definitely the right guy.
I mean, the Miz. Look, I want to say I like the Miz. I like Mike Miz. Look, I feel like he's a great heel, but I feel like he and I would really get along in person. Like as far as like people,
Even though he's
like,
from Cleveland.
what? Look, I like Cleveland. I like going.
Great city.
Great city. Great food. I don't want to take my kids to Cleveland. I feel like that's a good explanation of Cleveland. Is like I don't want to take my kids there, but like I like being in Cleveland sometimes. Like I don't want to
Hey,
live.
They have that great grilled cheese restaurant.
Oh
I don't
my
remember
God.
what it's called, but
Oh yeah,
you know
I know
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's so good. You know what? They got a lot of ton of good food. There's
Well,
good.
you know that
Cleveland-
grilled cheese place. If you get there, they have like a list of like flash art when you walk in the door, and things tattooed on you. You eat there for free for life.
I mean, if I lived in Cleveland, I would do that
For
but
sure.
But I don't, so I won't, and that would be like that. But if I lived there, I would. I mean, I'd weigh 400 pounds, but I mean, I would for sure do that. But Cleveland aside, the Miz as a human seems to be a phenomenal human being. Back when he was like an MTV personality, and that old, he and I are almost. He's a little older than me, but not by much.
A couple years.
Uh, and I feel like he's my like he's one of my spirit animals of the level of just like doesn't give a shit. And like the man has worked. I love the Miz as the champ. I always love the Miz as the champ. His title runs are never very long, but he deserved every single one of them for exactly as long as they were. He's the only superstar in the history of the WWE who I can say was used exactly perfectly right every time. And he was. He's always used well. And I think that's partially on him. I think Vince really likes him, and I think Vince listens to him. And I think when it's the Miz's time, I think he's used right, and I like it every time. So kudos to the Miz. However, loved what Bobby Lashley did for the last year and a half, however long the Hurt Business has been a thing. It's been fantastic, and happy for Bobby Lashley. He's gonna lose at WrestleMania, and I'm good with that too. And so that was my match of the week. It really set everything up really well. I liked the way the match went together. It wasn't the best wrestling match of all time ever, but it worked and it went the way I wanted it to go. So I'm happy with it, and that's where I am. I love title changes though, so
Yeah, they're always fun.
So cheers to that.
Definitely.
Wait, hold on, pause. Did we get any title changes at Revolution? We did not. What a fucking bullshit. Boo. Anyway, go on. Let's move on. Derek. Match of the week.
Honestly, that was also my match of the week. That is what I had picked out. I thought it was great.
Yes! Yes!
I didn't expect anybody else to pick that, honestly, because the shit we were saying about it in the group chat as we were watching Monday Night Raw, and consistently the Miz comes out and chicken shits him all night until finally he gets his comeuppance.
I mean,
takes the title.
The Raw was terrible. Let me just say this: Raw was terrible. Like the opening segment was good, and like the thing with Drew was good, and that match was good, and then the end was really good. But like the whole like middle of Raw was really terrible, and I'm not trying to say like Raw was the best show of the week. It was that match was like, I love a title change.
Yeah,
like the
match was great, and it's great that it went the whole episode. It really all
that pissed me off.
Let up. Really?
Yeah, I wasn't into that.
I just think
it shows, what I don't know.
It's what you're going for. It's your classic chicken shit.
I get that. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. But I'm glad, happy for Bobby Lashley.
Since Tom and I are obviously correct about what the match of the week was, why don't you tell us what your losing match of the week was?
What was the match of the week, Walt?
Are you guys ready for this?
Of course.
It's always good when it starts like that.
Match of the week. Is that Penny?
This is Penny.
Hi, Penny. I met you last week. You were really sweet.
She is. She's this very sweet cat.
But hey, so side note before I get into my match of the week. So Tom was like showing me around, right? He's like, "Oh, here's the office, blah, blah, blah." We were in the office for like 32 seconds and the door had like closed behind me. And Penny was like, "Yo, let me out right now. Like, let me out." So, anyways, match of the week. I'm going to go to Wednesday night. I'm going to go to AEW Dynamite.
Interesting.
My match of the week was Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill versus Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. Now,
that should have been a dumpster fire, but was not.
It was not a dumpster fire, and it definitely should have been a dumpster fire. But let me explain myself here a little bit, because we all know that I'm AEW hater numero uno in this world of the internet wrestling community. But what that match did for the AEW women's division cannot be understated. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet looked like stars. They looked like superstars.
Here
And
at the match,
you add into the fact
shoulders
that
retired.
that
after
Shaq took it went in there, he looked good. Like he fucking had a phenomenal power bomb. He told the story. He got in there, he did the little test of strength with Cody. He sold like $1,000,000. And
Yep.
then the table spot was absolutely perfect.
It was awesome.
I want to point out that at no point was Shaq super blown up either.
Never.
No.
Unlike Sting.
And he didn't look out of place. It looked like he knew
didn't.
what was going. He has been training. He has tried.
Was really impressed with Shaq's cardio in that match, in that he at no point looked like, oh man, Shaq's sucking air. It never looked like that.
No, he looked good.
Him.
So, but for me,
we haven't even mentioned the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, pal.
I was just going to say you didn't even bring up yet the Brody Lee tribute before the powerbomb, which was a nice touch.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice touch.
That he get, that was.
It was a real nice touch, man. You know, Shaq has definitely always been a big / pro wrestling realm. You know, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And so, like, no, I mean, he's always wanted his thing. And now I guarantee that AEW is going to capitalize and we're going to finally get Big Show versus Shaq. Like, we're going to see it. It has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed. But my biggest takeaway from this match was the justice that Red Velvet and Jade Cargill gave to the AEW women's division, a division that the three of us have unanimously decided is lacking. It put a spotlight on those two women, and they looked like superstars. Jade Cargill, even though she's green as grass, went out there. She looked great. She commanded a presence. You know, her timing was on point. Red Velvet went out there, and she was the perfect foil to this just Amazonian woman that is Jade Cargill. You know, Jade is just what she got to be 6'2". She's just like ripped to the gills.
Oh my God.
You know, and like Red Velvet went out there, and like I said, she was the perfect foil. The only thing that the only criticism I have of that match was after Shaq and Cody went through the table, Red Velvet like jumped right on Jade. You got to let that go a little bit. You got to let everybody soak that fucking spot in, because that was a big time spot, and it was perfect. That cross body through the tables, it was beautiful. The beautiful table spot. So yeah, that's my match of the week, guys. And go ahead.
The only reason that wasn't match of the week for me is so they botched the Shaq ambulance thing, in that there were fans out there and they videotaped Shaq getting out of the ambulance and walking away.
Yeah,
that's the only thing to me that just like screams amateur, in the level of like, come on, guys, come on. You put an ambulance down while there was up. It's just not. It's you can't do that, and it's got to go faster. If you're gonna do it, it's got to be a faster thing. And they mucked it up. They mucked up the spot. I mean, I'm not shocked they mucked up the spot, but they mucked it up because it should have been better. And so
Shaq is a tough guy to miss. You know, he's kind of a big boy.
He's like 7'2".
He's my all-time favorite basketball player of all time.
How could you not be? Oh my God! Between him,
great personality.
It's like him, Kobe, and Jordan. That's it. That's the list
for sure.
Right. That's it.
Hey, gentlemen, I know that we went a little bit over our normal run time here this week, but I think overall this was a really good show, and I really enjoyed the conversation that we had. It was a little AEW heavy for the three of us, but I mean, that's kind of what's topical right now is AEW, so we kind of just went after it. With that being said, first of all, I have a shout out here, okay, and I don't ever do this, but there's a gentleman who has a podcast called Uncommon Place, J.R. Sparrow, big friend of the show. He just tweeted out or Instagrammed out, to check out our podcast, because we're the type of show that what hard work sounds like. Make sure that you give them a listen. This dude continues to just day in and day out promote us on Instagram to his fan base. And I really appreciate that. And I talk to him all the time. He seems like he's a great guy. I can't wait to have a beer with him. He's a phenomenal human being, just talking with him back and forth. And I appreciate the fact that he really enjoys our show. And I actually just said something to him about that right before this here. And he replied to me, and I can't find it now. He goes, next time I'm up that way, we'll have a beer. He goes, continue on with one of the best internet wrestling community shows I've heard to date. So that's awesome. I appreciate
Very
that
kind
feedback.
words.
Very kind words.
Those are super kind words.
Yeah,
Kinder than we appreciate than we deserve, maybe.
But I do know that he is a constant listener to this show, and he is a true friend of this show. So thank you so much, JR. We appreciate you, and
cheers to him.
Yeah, cheers to him for sure. So with all that, make sure that you follow us on social media at @1_Fall WC. That is ONE. Check us out on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. We really appreciate it. We're trying to come up with some new stuff. I am currently working on a couple of little WrestleMania videos for everybody for YouTube, so stay tuned for those. They're coming. If you're into some yo-yo action, make sure you check out Tom on Throws and Brews. Great insight into the yo-yo world. Tom is a phenomenal speaker, as we all know.
I've been doing nothing yo-yo wise.
He makes me want to pick up a yo-yo.
I've been buried in work. Well, I should have just handed you a yo-yo when you were here the other day. But like, take this, learn.
That I haven't picked up a yo-yo since I was in 8th grade. The last yo-yo I owned was an Omega Fireball.
Yo-Mega starts.
Yeah,
Yo-Mega.
whatever. You know what I meant.
I've broken probably 200 of those.
It was purple with the black face.
Those were a good one. I had a purple with the like reddish purple face. That was a good one though too. They stopped making. God, they switched those over in anyway. We won't. They're not as good as they used to be.
But I really enjoyed the video that you just did on the Toonie. By the way, I thought that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that little guy.
It's so little. It's so
It's
little.
a tiny little guy.
My friend Jeremy made this. It actually plays really well.
Yeah.
If you've had a few beers, it's going to be hard to hit the string, but it's really fun.
It looked like you were having a blast, pal. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.